everyone, and thank you for attending our seminar today. I'm very pleased to welcome you and share our experience on how to use artificial intelligence in literature reviews. My name is Prof. Laval, and this is Prof. Fournier. And I know that many of you have already experimented AI with different tools. But as you know, literature reviews are a key part of any research work. It's not just something you have to do. It's very important, and you can't outsource or subcontract to AI. It's truly important and essential part of developing your knowledge, critical thinking, and research skills. So let's move on the presentation. Alors, first, we will quickly review the context of the DBA, which is a little different from a PhD. So we highlight a few points about the DBA. We will present the reasons why we are developing AI in reviewing literature. Next, we will explain how to develop our research using several tools. There are tools, free tools, but sometimes specific functions are payable. 4, we will then look at some contributions and limitations. And 5, we will then open the debate.
Okay, the DBA context. Just tell you a few words about what's the difference between DBA and PhD and how it will impact our topic, which is AI and literature review, and how to design a research topic. Okay, so doctoral candidates and manager, and manager and doctoral candidate. That means that most of you, if you are, because you are working, you've got an idea about your topic. Okay, global idea, topic, a problematic. I'm not professor of epistemology, but this could be very important for the next step about designing what you are doing here. And of course, during a DBA, you are merging professional experience and academic knowledge. Okay, and each time you have to make a bridge between these two elements, and you go back and move forward, move to from the professional experience to academic world, and go back there. So. And the thing which is very important for Michel Kalika and the BSI is how to provide some impact. Okay, and the only way to know if you provide some impact is that you will put into correlation what are your results are with what we know. And there is a bridge here with literature review. Okay, strong impact through the research process and the writing DBA thesis. Just keep that in mind. Why I'm just talking about that? Just because the way you will design your topic is strongly inspired from your experience in the professional world. And we'll see that when we talk about the first step, consensus and things like that, when you are starting to enter the words and what you are looking inside the software will be directly connected with your professional world.
Now some considerations on why we use AI and why it is so important in your research process. The context in which we conduct research, and more specifically literature review, is as follows. First, a lack of time. Management research, like many other academic fields, is subject to increasingly lengthy and restrictive publication requirements. Secondly, the very large number of data. Access to large volumes of publications and data requires new tools and new methods to effectively filter, analyze, and structure relevant information. And finally, collaborative work. Management research, especially for senior researchers, is increasingly marked by national and international collaborative dynamics. Donc these three contextual factors are pushing researchers to adapt and rethink their practice to ensure their work is scientifically proof. The challenge is then to produce a scientific research which is systematic, transparent and reproducible. Alors, what do we mean by systematic? We mean doing research in an organized and methodological way to reach clear objectives. What do we mean by transparent? We mean making the process clear, explicit, and showing how the research was conducted. And what do we mean by reproducible? We mean allowing others to repeat the study and get the same results. Then comes the question of what kind of AI is best for my research objectives, which means that I first need to define my goal. That is to say, to define the type of let review I want to do.
So just a few words here. It's like cooking. If you've got a recipe, if you are a big chef, you are inventing a new dish. Okay, you are writing the recipe, and if one of you are strictly following the recipe, you should achieve the same results. It's the same here. Okay, you are defining a literature topic. Okay, you are entering into the database. You are looking for a paper, and I explain you how did I proceed. If you are following strictly, so I need to write everything I have done. If you are strictly following the same process, if I'm achieving 10 papers, you should arrive at 10 papers and the 10 same papers.
Okay, it's a question of reproducible. To choose your type of lit review, you have to ask questions. First, what is my main objective? Is it to explore a new field, identify key concepts, answer a question, or identify gaps in or future avenues? Two, have I already formulated a research question, or do I only have a vague idea of what I am looking for? Three, what type of literature I'm interested in. Only scientific studies, also professional reports or non-academic articles, qualitative or quantitative, and so on. Four, what are my constraints and resources? Time, for example, short on time, or constraint about publication with academic standards, and resources, for example, tools like software to analyze data. This table gives an idea of the variety of lit reviews and their differences. We have selected only 3 types here, but there is more than a dozen. Let's take a few minutes to read the table. Alors, you may have noticed that a systematic review is per se more exhaustive. However, the prerequisite is to precise the research question. The methodology is very precise, and if you choose a narrative review, it's not the same. The methodology is flexible and informal. The scoping review is an initial assessment of the size and the scope of the literature. It maps the extent of research in a particular field. It's used to identify the main characteristics and trends in research, often to highlight gaps in current knowledge. Now, a few words about meta-analysis.
So I just propose you here, I introduce you 3 elements which is critical for research, and you will probably meet them during your research process. Okay. Why are you conducting a literature review? Is it just the end of your academic process, or is it a milestone, a step during your research process? Okay. So if you are if you are implementing a research process, whatever your topic is, you need to have a literature review just in order to avoid reinventing the wheel. Okay? And you have to know what we know and what you don't know, because if you've got a managerial problem and there is already a solution into the literature, this is not research. This is applied research, this is consultancies, but this is not research. So if you are making a research process, whatever you are in PhD or in DBA, you will create some knowledge. And if you want to be sure that you're creating some knowledge, you need to be sure that this knowledge is not existing yet. Okay? So you will implement a literature review. But this literature review could be a milestone, or it could be the end of your process. So in some occasion, you can conduct a systematic literature review, and you will go to publication. The end of a process is an academic paper, which is systematic literature review about, I don't know what. Okay. In the other, for the 2 other kinds of literature review, this is just one step of the research process. A systematic literature review could be the end of a process. But a systematic literature review could be also the beginning of another step, another way of research, which is meta-analysis. What is meta-analysis? Is just summarizing existing results, which was conducted with a quantitative methodology. Just to be maybe very simple, you want to know if there is an impact, a correlation between experience and performance. Nowadays, you might have 60, 100 papers producing a coefficient correlation between experience and performance. Some coefficient correlation are significative, some are non-significative, some are 0.05, 0.10, 0.20, 0.550. Okay? If you want to provide some good knowledge to manager, I need to say, okay, there is a strong correlation between experience and performance in B2B industry, but not in B2C industry. So I need to summarize all this quantitative knowledge, and this is a meta-analysis. To be simple, conducting a meta-analysis is just conducting an average of coefficient correlation, just to be very simple. But when you are conducting a meta-analysis, you want to be sure that you are making a synthesis about all the paper published. And how to do that? Before the meta-analysis, you need to conduct a systematic literature review. And you are just investigating all the paper dealing with experience and performance, and then you just concentrating your attention on paper with quantitative analysis, which are proposing a correlation coefficient. So, systematic literature review, here is just a milestone for a meta-analysis. And when you've done that, you can make a publication. And the cherry on the cake is the third step, and it's more and more frequent that we see that. You are conducting a systematic literature review. So you've got meta-analysis. When you've got meta-analysis, you have some. We know that, we don't know that. We know that partially. So we are looking for more information. So you can propose a research agenda. It will be fruitful to conduct research, to explore, to investigate. For example, the relationship between experience and performance in pharmaceutical industry. We are lacking of research in this topic. And so you are producing research agenda. So the systematic literature review could be the first step for research agenda, could be the first step for meta-analysis, which could be published, or meta-analysis will lead to a research agenda. So you need to have this picture in mind. And what is very important is the next step. Okay, so literature review could be a starting point. Okay, for this is the end of a process. It could be a milestone for meta-analysis. It could be a milestone for meta-analysis, a research agenda, or milestone for literature review to research agenda. But after which we don't know very well. And just in the book, BSI book about methodology, I've written a paper about meta-analysis. Just read the end of a process because it could be very important for you. When you have conducted your research, you've got some results. Maybe you've got a good result, which is new, and you've got very new knowledge, and congratulations. But sometimes you've got, well, okay, I've got some small results. I've got a big results, and I've got 3 small results. Okay, we knew that experience has an impact on performance. But in fact, when we are looking at some meta-analysis, we did not knew that on pharmaceutical industry. And it was mentioned in a research agenda. Maybe you need to investigate more data in pharmaceutical industry. And I did it. I've done the job. So maybe some minor results can be a good contribution to knowledge, just because it was mentioned in meta-analysis. The relationship between experience and performance, okay, investigated 100 times. But in this specific industry, there is a lack of knowledge, and I'm contributing, okay? So it's very important to keep that in mind. How can you, lit review could be a starting point, and at the end, you are just contributing.
For conducting a scoping review, for example. This is a series of steps that we recommend further to testing different AI tools. So for this scoping review, we propose 6 steps. For each step, we will present the tools we have tested. You conduct the literature review, and you are competent to do so. And step by step, you evaluate usefulness of the AI tools and the quality of the tool. We do not choose a single tool. Some tools claim that you can conduct a complete literature review with them, but we choose to use different tools for different steps. This is the main steps presented on this slide. One is discovering the topic, identifying key articles, and defining keywords. 2, searching in databases. 3, filtering, data processing and reference screening. 4, second search, visualization of the citation network to enrich the article database. 5, extraction, downloading articles in PDF format. And 6, synthesis, analyzing text in order to address the issue. So we choose consensus, undermine, answer this, and you can see Ryan, IS Review, then Research Rabbit, Insightful, Anna Archive, and Notebook LM for this literature review. Alors, now we'll show you the tools. This is, don't keep in mind the process. This is the process. The slide shows 7 steps because initial screening and collaborative manual screening go together. It's depending whether you are working alone or working with other people. But this is the process. Alors, first, topic discovery. For this step, you need to search the semantic scholar databases using tools such as consensus, answer this, undermine. And the first step is based on natural language research. Next, we perform with a second search with keywords, but now it's with natural language. So the first tool is undermine. Undermine is very useful starting your search, and you just need to enter your search question. Undermines offered help to refine the prompt. And with undermine, you get a 3-part answer, like this. The first of the 3-part answer is in text form, which allows to read a summary of your topic and all the useful sources for learning about it. The second of the 3-part answer that allows you to ask questions with choices. You can see on the slide, quick introduction, research timeline, suggest reading order, evidence quality, big open questions, predict future trends or cross-field impacts. The third of the 3-part answer is in form of a reference table. The tool can suggest you up to 200 references with a relevance score. You can see here in green, a relevance score. So now the second is consensus. Alors these tools using the same databases, Semantic Scholar. It's a free databases containing 200 million articles in open access. There is academic papers in it, but you don't always have access to the full text. You can ask your research question and select certain filters. Here's for example, the ranking. It's important, the ranking of academic journal. It's a very important factor. So in this slide, you can see CIMAGO. This is a CIMAGO ranking with the quartiles. Q1 includes the most important journals, and Q4 the less important ones. I choose donc all the quartiles that interest me, and I can choose other criteria such as methodology or the field of the study. The field of the study is year management, for example. So it's a very useful tool without a license. You can use it.
Okay, maybe sometime. So we have chosen to propose you a free solution. Okay, sometimes it's freemium. You've got 10 possibility per day, per month, okay. But most of all the tools are at the beginning free. Okay, sometimes you've got some limitation. You've got just the abstract of the papers, but you can do step by step. Okay, if you've got time.
It's effective to identify the best articles in a field study, and you can export them or put them in a library, and then export the entire library. C'est bon? T'as answered this? Tu voulais dire quelque chose?
I wanted to say, okay, for these different solutions, you are just discussing with the tool. Okay, and at the beginning when I say, okay, when you've got a DBA, is it a DBA student or doctoral student, managerial student, doctoral student, okay, you've got your managerial question, your managerial problematic. You can just enter it in natural language, okay? What could be the impact of AI on the specific step of prospecting in B2B industry, okay? You're talking with the tool and then you will discuss, okay? It's like a discussion, it's like ChatGPT, okay? You say, okay, you are proposing me that, but what about that? And you have to discuss, and each time he will propose you some references. Okay. So you can play with your topic, the words of your topic, and say, okay, how can you combine and that, like when you are discussing with your doctoral supervisor, okay, or a colleague, okay, you're discussing with the tool.
This solution is powerful. It's complete, but it doesn't offer many free features. It's a problem. Look, you can do a lot of things, such as finding relevant studies or even writing a literature review on the topic based on the sources you choose. Here, we want to find relevant studies only and not writing with answer this. With this tool, you can choose databases. You can choose a minimum number of citations or research, only research article, for example, or research article and web sourcing. For some literature reviews, such as integrative literature reviews, you can have web sources and research articles, both. So you can choose between two databases, Semantic Scholar and OpenAlex. You can also use Simago ranking to filter quality journals. There are many features available. You can obtain a citation map, for example, or a diagram. You can build your own library,
Simago ranking is important because if you want to be published in an academic journal, you need to make the evidence that your literature review is relevant and you've got the top perceived journal. Okay, we don't know if this is the best journal, but this is supposed to be the best journals. Okay, so if you got just the first quarter of Simago rankings, well, I've got a good literature review, and you will not be lost in any journal which are not very famous.
Okay. So after this step, we move on the search for references in the Web of Science and the Scopus databases. So we search for references in databases, and this search is with keyword. It's keyword
This is
search.
the old way we are working. When we were doing our PhD, we were working that way with databases. Okay. It still exists, but it was the only way, okay? Mm-hmm. So now we have the first step before, okay? Vas-y, je t'ai coupé.
This is a slide with the name of databases: Scopus, Web of Science, Semantic Scholar, we have seen it, and OpenAlex.
So you have to go to your university, or with BSI, with Lyon 3, you have to go to, just to ask Frédéric, but if you are in a university, to go to the library of university, which database is available. If you've got a very rich university, you might have several databases, but most of the time you've got either Scopus or Web of Science, okay? Semantic Scholar is open source, so it's free, but the issue is, do you have Scopus or do you have Semantic Scholar, okay?
Yeah. You can use generative AI like ChatGPT to have some help. So we can use the titles of articles we have already identified to define keywords, or get help with ChatGPT also. It's very useful to defining the keywords, because there is a risk of human bias.
Okay, so when you've when you are working in keywords, you've got some different elements. Okay, I want experience and performance and nurses, but not lorry driver in international study with quantitative method. Okay, the AI can help you to write that. Okay, and for example, you can ask ChatGPT or Consensus just to make this. Okay, title, apps, key, review methodology. You've got different elements, and everything is perfect. So the help of AI for that is to help you to define the good keywords, okay, and to propose how to write them. It's like if you are, I'm working in music sometime, if you want, okay, let imagine a music like the Beatles, this kind of, it will provide you some keywords, you can put that in Suno, and it's supposed to be more efficient, but if you go like that, okay, this is the same here, it will help you. It's a very important tool just to give you the good idea, the good way to discuss with the next AI. And so the database, we know that because we've got some age and we've got some experience with data and or da. Most of the systems now are integrating AI.
For bibliographic
Plugin, okay, an AI, okay. And it will be generated. It will be the case for every system in the future.
And then it's possible to export. To export is the results with different formats. CSV, RIS for a bibliographic manager.
So you will have a lot of references, okay, name, title of a journal, date, blah, 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 and you can export that in several items, in several software, okay?
Okay. Next step.
Okay, so the issue is we are in systematic literature review, so you want to know every paper published on this topic. So the challenge was here to define the topic, okay? And now, if a job is well done, you've got maybe 500 papers which are supposed to be on your topic. You've got two issues here. If you have collected data from Web of Science, from Scopus. Of course, you might have 3 times the same paper. Okay, it's like when you're working in marketing and you've got a file and you're prospecting, you've got 3-4 times the same address. Here you can have 2 times, 3 times the same paper. Okay, it's quite easy to say, okay, I suppress paper which are 2 times in the paper. But the main difficulty is, okay, I've got, so I had 500 papers, so now I have suppressed, I've got 300 papers. Are these papers relevant for my research? So I need to make a choice here and try to select which paper could be useful and relevant for my paper. So first issue, you've got 300 papers, you download 300 papers and you write. This is the old way. We know this way, we have done that. Okay, you read 500 paper, 300 paper, you print them, highlight and suppress. But AI could be a very useful tool to do that. To help you to do that under your control, you need to control everything. So we've got 2 solutions, which is, the first one is AS Review, and our second one is, right. AS Review, it's very sexy software, if you can use this word. You will identify 2, 3, 4, 5 papers which are totally aligned with your expectation. And you say, okay, just read these 5 papers. This is directly focused on my topic. You choose papers which are aligned with these 5 papers. And you can also say 5 papers which are wrong. This is example of paper I do not want. So 5 good paper, 5 poor paper, and you train the system. And the system is supposed to just select the paper which are relevant to the 5 papers which are good for you. You need to check everything. But if you've got 300 papers, maybe we'll have, the end will be 40 papers. You need to check if it's relevant with what you do. The other, okay, so yeah, it's, and the other system is Ryan. Ryan is a little bit different. You're just entering. Florent said, okay, after EBSCO, Web of Science or Scopus, you can extract the references, okay, in BIP text or CSV. Then this file you put in Ryan, and you can have the name, the title, the journal title, and the abstract. And you've got, for example, the 300 paper, and you select. You read the abstract, and you say, okay, I keep it, I leave it, I do not know. Chuk, 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 okay? And at the end, maybe you do not know, you are just have to print 10 papers, and you read them carefully just to know, okay, I keep, I leave. The other advantage of the system is collaborative possibility. You are 3 or 4 in a team for conducting the research, okay? You can do the same job, each one in your side, okay? So in your side, okay, she's in Poitiers, okay, yes, no, do not know. In the same, I'm Montpellier or anywhere on the planet, yes, no, do not know. Okay, so maybe you've got 10 papers we do not know. We have a Zoom meeting and we say, okay, we read all together the paper and when we decide. Okay, so it's a quite friendly system, okay, collaborative system in order to select and to try to choose. Again, the decision is on your side. The final decision is on your side. You can ask the system to decide with various review, but the best way anyway is to always the same goal. I need to be transparent, okay, and everyone needs to know what I have done, and everyone can replicate what I have done. So there is a system which name is Prisma. I will tell you. Okay, Prisma is preferred reporting item for systematic review and meta-analysis. Okay, so I will explain you how the IT system and myself has done in order to select at the end 43 papers. At the beginning, I had 414. At the end, I got 43. How did I proceed in order to do that? And now, more and more frequently, in publication, the Prisma, I don't say protocol, is supposed to be sent to the reviewers. Okay? And Ryan is proposing this. Okay, when you're in Ryan, if you propose this, this is always the same way for presenting. So you can say, okay, this is Prisma. So it should be, it's quality insurance, okay, and repeatability and things like that. Okay, standardize the process, facilitate transparency, and improve quality insurance, okay? We know exactly, like in quantitative study, okay? I run a principal component analysis with this dimension. I have selected the value over ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. So, you have defined your topic. You have selected a lot of paper exhaustively, but maybe there is only a limited number of paper which are of interest. So now, second search visualization of a citation. Okay. 20 years ago, 30 years ago, at the end of a process, you might have 50 paper, 50 hard copy paper. You read the paper, and at the end of the paper, you had references section, and you say you are reading. You say, okay, well, Journal of International Marketing is highly quoted. So maybe I want to go to see all the paper published in Journal of International Marketing. This author is frequently quoted. And then you were going back to the literature search just to see that. This is what we propose with citation network. This is exactly the same. And you've got the little rabbit, which is running very fast. It's just network analysis. Okay, so you've got a paper. You can enter 1 paper, 2 paper, 5 paper. And is making some correlation, several correlation. Okay, I've got that name, Kalika in Journal of Marketing. Okay, so Kalika, everything which was written by Kalika. I take all the paper written by Kalika, and there is a references section, and there is correlation with all the paper quoted by Kalika. Kalika has written in Journal of Marketing. I can make correlation with all the paper written published in Journal of Marketing. Kalika has written on company strategy. Okay, company strategy. I might have another network about company strategy. All the paper dealing with company strategy. And I can play like that, and I can identify 1, 2, 3, 4 new paper which were not identified before. Okay, and this is a very convenient system. Okay, you can play, you can. Okay, so you've got Wagner here 221 probably is quoting Stone 2023. So after you can put your attention on Stone, and you will have another model. And so it was Spilias. Spilias is somewhere here. So if you click on Spilias, you've got the network of Spilias, and so forth, and so forth, and so forth. I think when it's green, it's already coded in your database. And when it's blue, it's a new reference. At the end, you decide to include or not.
And he suggests paper from Semantic Scholar.
Semantic Scholar, okay, so, okay. And you've got the same topic, the same system, insightful. You've got, okay, this is network analysis. Okay, you're just putting in network. I told you, it's just writing the end, reading the lit review, and you say, okay, I did not code that. Okay. So now we are at the end of a process. You've got a good idea about your literature review. You might have 50 key article or 100 key article, I don't know. So now there is the hard work to download. Okay, you need to download the paper, and there is no magic system to download. Like one click, and you've got the 50 paper on your data on your cloud. No, it's not. So you have to go back to the Scopus or Urban Science. Okay, you can. There is Science Direct, c'est ça? You can ask Science Direct is just a network of academic researcher, and sometimes you can connect with them. And I have seen that you have written a paper which is not available. Can you send it to me? Okay, and you've got also Anna's archive. It's an illegal system where some people are putting online papers. It's a peer-to-peer, and okay, well, I've quoted it. The risk is not for you, it's for people who are managing the system. Okay, you might have some paper here. Okay, but the best way for you is to connect on the library of Lyon 3 and to have officially the paper. And if you don't have, frankly, American colleagues are very nice, and when you ask them their paper, they are very happy and they send it in the night. And so when you wake up in the morning, you get the paper and you can write again. Zotero and Jabref is just a literature review software. It's not new. You had EndNotes also. You're just entering with a very sophisticated Excel file, okay, but dedicated to literature review. So here's the process. Topic discovery. You play and you discuss with software. You have identified here with natural language some key elements. You ask the system to help you to go on the database, okay, with keywords. Now, more and more frequently, you've got AI on this database library. You have got a lot of paper. You need to select and identify the paper which are of interest for your research. Second thing is sophistication of this selection. You go with network, citation network and Research Rabbit or Insightful. So you've got a limited paper. You have to download them on your cloud or computer. And then now the job is starting. Okay, you need to read the paper. I recommend you to read the paper. But the AI can help you deeply to do the job. And especially you've got two systems. I will mainly focus on NotebookLM, quite familiar with this system. NotebookLM is just, it's a Google, okay? Google interface, which is free. You can enter, for example, one paper, okay? And it will propose you. It will talk by itself, okay? But you can ask him, explain me the methodology used in this paper. Okay, blah, 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 it's a qualitative methodology. Okay. Give more information about the methodology, the qualitative methodology, and focus on the sample. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Okay. You can enter 50 paper, okay, which are of interest of your topic, and say, okay, in this 50 paper, just select quantitative paper, and explain me the methodology, the quantitative methodology used in this 50 paper. What are the big difference? What are the convergence? Okay. What are the big difference? Okay. Explain me the limitation proposed in this 50 paper. Explain me the theory used in this 50 paper. Okay. You have identified 3 theories. Okay. Can you write me a short description of this theory? Main author, limitation, advantage of this theory. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, it's quite good. I export this blah blah in a note. And this note could be a new file. And you can copy paste this blah blah and put it in your Word. And this is part of your literature review. You check everything written. And the other advantages of notebook is it proposes you the section exactly when you say, okay, this theory about motivation proposed by Room in 1964, and you've got the section of a paper where it's quoted. So you can say, okay, he's talking about Room, well, which paper? I don't have to read the 50 paper. I just click and say, okay, this is paper number 13, page 10, where is this short section about Room. And then it's also Room in the paper 25, in page 2, and so you are saving a lot of time. It's like in the past when you've got an highlight pen. The job is done for you. The other element when you will have completed your dissertation is just to make a podcast from your dissertation, and it's good for impact, okay? Notebook LM is proposing podcast. It's not an interview. You've got a dialogue between a journalist and you, for example. Say, oh, what is your topic today? Well, my dissertation was about, okay, what are the main reasons? Okay, you can ask to go in a given structure, okay? And now he's doing some video from your, okay, well. This is very good tool to help you to read. My recommendation is at the beginning of your dissertation, you take 10 paper and you read it the old way on your sofa the weekend, and you take it from first word to the last word, and you take the weekend on the paper just to try to understand it. And once you have read 10 paper that way, you can use AI. Okay, you can also research gap, so you can ask notebook. You read the 50 paper, which are the research back identified, okay?
It answers this.
Ça, c'est quoi?
Answer this. It does the same thing. He can write.
He can write also, okay? And frankly, he writes well. Contribution and limitation. So, continue.
Ça te fait rien? Je veux bien.
So what are the benefits of this? Okay. You should be faster. You should go faster, and no need for advanced database searches, automatic selection of the most relevant reference. Okay. The limitation is sometimes they don't have access to private solution because they have to pay. So, but you are in BSI, so you've got access to private library. Okay. And you can create your literature from the beginning to the end. Okay. Keep that in mind. Explicability, interpretability, control over sources. Okay. So you've got several tools to do that. Okay. After you can have some help with ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot in order to help you to write your request, to help you to write your topic. Take care about the biases and the hallucination. Okay. And of course, it could be a good way to identify the relationship and trends, so it will be research rabbit and literature mapping. Okay, so it requires human expertise each time. Okay, The second slide is you can have an automation of certain tasks. For example, on service, okay, you just give him 5 good paper, 5 poor paper, and then the system is learning to work by itself. It's like banking, financial service industry. When you ask mortgage, you're just entering your salary, who you are, and so, and you say, okay, you can have a loan, or you can't have a loan. And sometimes it works, and sometimes there are some errors. This is the same here. So just to keep that in mind, simplification of a literature review process. Okay. Okay, this is a key element here I would like to focus on a few seconds. And sometimes you say, okay, new student will be crazy, will be idiot, and will not have any ideas to think by themselves just because the tool is thinking for them. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Okay, wrong, totally wrong. If you want to engage into a real good process with good quality at the end, you will have to think a lot. And at the end of a day, we have organized a 2-day seminar about this topic, okay? And with one of the doctoral students is here. Ask her, at the end of the 2 day, you've got a strong headache. Frank. Okay. It's like if you ask ChatGPT, give me some solution to travel for this weekend. You can be at the mountain here, at the seaside, or in Paris, okay? If you don't give any information, you don't have if you ask him to go somewhere where you can swim and have also some cultural interest, and you discuss, okay, yes, but here I don't want to pay, I don't want to fly, etc., etc. Maybe you have a very nice weekend. But you have to discuss and to know what you are looking for. Okay, this is the same here. So, no way here. If some people say, no, because you will lose competency, you can say, okay, you have never used AI. You don't know what is AI. You don't know what you are talking about. Okay, move away and go to work, and then come back, and we'll discuss. Okay. Evolving promises. Say, what is true today is maybe as evolve tomorrow. Okay, when I was preparing a short conference for a Tuesday, I have been working all the weekend on the notebook LM system. And the Monday morning, a new option was proposed. So I was presenting, and when someone in the room, it was a Zoom meeting, said, hey, there is a new system. Okay, well, I was sleeping Monday. Okay, we have made a choice. Okay, we are proposing individual tools. Okay, you've got integrated tools. For example, we've got Scanlit in France. Okay, which is an integrated tool. It works. Okay, but it's a black box. Okay, you are entering your question. You've got the results. Okay, you don't know exactly, and it's hard to know and to change something. So we have made a choice is to have different solutions. It's sometimes hard because sometimes you need to have some knowledge about CSV, TXT to move from a system is like IT. It's like when you're exporting Excel file to Zotero and things like that sometimes. Okay, but it's individual, separated solution. Most of the time you've got a free option, and you can combine them, and you can take the advantages of every tools. It's an option we have decided
it's
to
our
take.
strategy.
To go to the end, and I think we are close to the end. Okay, of course you've got some ethic question. Okay, the AI worker, we have some people in Kenya or things like that. We were paid very low salary just to train and to be sure that the AI was working well. Of course, the intellectual property sometimes has been stolen, and this is true for music, for example. There is big sustainability issue, carbon footprint. The data center are using a lot of water and a lot of electricity. Okay, and of course, in order to run that, you've got computer. So you've got a lot of things like that, processor, computers. Trust and transparency, you have to check some hallucination, you have to check, and transparency. And what we recommend, I forgot to tell that in French workshop, but I recommend you to discuss with your supervisor or DBA, but if you've got some colleague maybe in master, we have some master students. They have to go for their master dissertation. They have to use AI, okay? No way, they have to. but they have to explain me how did they use AI, okay, how, which software, what was the prompt, what they have taken, how did they take care for hallucination and things like that, transparency, okay. The same, if someone is coming after them, if they start again the job, we need to have the same results, okay? I take always the example about qualitative interview, okay? You've got some qualitative interview, you've got an interview, you've got 1 hour of discussion with someone, and when the analysis, oh, when I'm reading the interview, we are sure, we see, oh, okay, but the hypothesis one is check. You don't know exactly how the analysis is run. Now we've got some process. This is the same here, okay? We need to know and understand what you have done. Voilà.
Is that?
Discussion, whatever. Okay, AI does not replace the researcher, but it can save him a lot of time. This is our promotional marketing offer. I'm not sure it saves you a lot of time. It's another way to work, or if it saves you time, you don't go to the beach after. Oh, the boss is coming, okay, so. It doesn't save you time at the end. Or if it saves you time, you can use this time to do other things. It's the same. I've got a lot of connection with Jean Moscarola, okay? If you don't spend time if you're saving time with AI, you have more time to think about your topic, to think about your contribution, to go back to the field and provide some feedback, okay? So it's another time allocation. Maybe you will save time here, but this time will be useful for the other part of the scientific process. Okay, keep that in mind always. Transparency and reproducibility of a research literature. There is other workshop with Professor Bergada about integrity and things like that. Integrity, replicability. Replicability is one key word of science. Okay. What is science? Most of the time we discuss that with students. Science is replicable, okay? If this vaccine is working on this illness, it works for everyone. Or if it doesn't work on everyone, I need to understand. All people, young people, women, men, okay? I need to explain. The same here. And of course, there is the augmented researcher, which is his brain and AI, combined with AI. But check, check, check. Thank you.
That's the last word.
Okay. Oh yeah. At the end, well, maybe you speak French. I say okay in French. Prompter en conscience. You're only using AI if there is value added. If there is no value added, go the old way. Okay. What is the value creation of using AI? Because it's not good for the planet today. And sometimes there is no value added, so go the old way. It's like sending an email. Is it a real value added to send an email to 10 people? We'll see. Merci Florence, thank you.